Focus on Liberia. It's another edition of the Hour of Politics. I want to welcome you. A pleasant welcome to the broadcast. Hit that share button. Beautiful traditional gospel music done in Global from the Southeast. It got to be good, huh? Welcome to yet another edition of the Hour of Politics. And if you are loving the music, I want to see you dancing. I want to see you sharing. I want to see you commenting. Again, the Hour of Politics, another edition here with me, Anthony Sie. Please hit that share button. We will be starting soon. And if you are just joining us, of course, this is the Hour of Politics. This is where you want to be at this time. We are about politics right now, my people. If you are just joining us, I want to say the pleasant welcome to Focus on Liberia, where we educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. Let's share the broadcast. We are starting soon. Enjoy the song and stay tuned. Pleasant welcome to the Hour of Politics here at Focus on Liberia. If you are just joining in, we want to say welcome. Do us a favor. Share the broadcast with somebody. Share it with somebody and share it with somebody. We are starting momentarily. Let's get the song rolling here. The Hour of Politics. Focus on Liberia. We are about educating, elevating, and promoting all things Liberia. And what a pleasant way to welcome you to the broadcast with this traditional gospel music that is teasing. As you can see, I'm dancing to the beat. I don't see you coming. I don't see you dancing. There we go. every good thing must come to an end. So this is how we will come to the end of the music section of this broadcast. And we are starting the broadcast right now.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jah.
And I am Ansel Sincere, and this is the Hour of Politics. And welcome. Let's get to the topic right away. Profiling Unity Party's Vice Tenor Senator Kpan Koung is the topic for today's edition of the Hour of Politics. Kpan Koung is now the Vice Tenor of the Unity Party. 2023, this year is the election. Those who have interest in becoming president have started announcing their running mate. One of such person is Joseph Yumambwaka, who chose Senator Kpan Koung of Nimba County. And so we are profiling Senator Koung today so that Liberians can get to know him a little more. And we have done some work to help you provide that information. For we are about educating, elevating, and promoting all things Liberia. So talking about Senator Kpan Koung, here he is, as you can see. And as you can see, here is he. Yeah, he is right there. So Senator Koung is now the Vice Tenor Bearer of now the Opposition Unity Party. He will be the able lieutenant of Joseph Yumambwaka should they be fortunate in Lord to reach to the executive mansion. So who is Koung? What does he bring to the table? What is his record? What is his history? What has he been all about? Based on who he has been, who he is, his record in politics, leadership, is he the guy for the job? Anyway, we are here to do a profile of him so you can get to know him better. So starting with the question, who is Kpan Koung? Kpan Koung is a Liberian whose father hailed from Sino County, from the Grebo Agni tribe, but he was born in Nimba County where his father has gone to find a job. Kpan Koung was born in 1978. So he is 45 years old. So he is so far, a young man. Koung, like many Liberians, was born to a very poor family and started his life as a poor child. In fact, he had a very difficult childhood, facing poverty and practically living in the streets. According to Kpan Koung himself, he started life as a petty trader by selling fish, soap, oil, and many other things just to get by. And so he has to be in school and out of school and trying to sell to make a living. But Kpan Koung will later become a man. And then the war will come in no time when he was becoming a boy or when he has become a boy. So during the Civil War, like many of us going here and there trying to seek refuge, he too had that experience and he has his own share of coming in contact with soldiers and leaders of the different factions. But fast forward in 2003, that which some people refer to as the World War II years in Liberia during the Civil War, Jeremiah Koung was accused of selling drugs. That is an allegation that has been out there. And many believe that it was this sale of the drugs during the 2023, 2003, 2003 Civil War and after that Mr. Koung managed to earn himself some money doing business. Again, that remains an allegation that stayed there. And then Jeremiah Koung, sometime back, there was a leaked audio about Senator Koung. And in this audio that was leaked, it was alleged that the voice in that audio was the voice of Senator Koung. So this person, allegedly Koung, according to reports from the independent newspaper, that it was Koung who was heard speaking in that particular leaked audio. And a few things that were said. And in that audio that was leaked, and allegedly that Mr. Koung was the one speaking, he was boasting about his worth, what he has acquired as a person and as a businessman. And one of the things that he said that brought, so much questions to his character and raised so much eyebrows, as follow. Number one, Senator Koung allegedly was heard in that audio saying that by the year 2007, by the years 2007, 2008, and 2009, unquote, my daughter was sitting inside vomiting money. Again, that was an audio tape that was leaked, and the voice in there that was alleged to be Senator Koung, who said, and I quote, by 2007, 2008, and 2009, my daughter was sitting inside vomiting money. Now, how is that true? Is that anything for somebody to believe? Is it possible that human being can just vomit money? And where would the money be coming from? What generates the money in the person anyway? But it was alleged that Mr. Koung was the one heard in that leaked audio tape talking about how his daughter in the year 2007, 2008, and 2009 was just inside this house, and all she did was to just vomit money, and Koung was just there picking up the money. That audio tape has not been independently verified by Focus on Liberia, but many who listened to it, we ourselves had the opportunity to listen to it. It was alleged that the voice heard in that tape was Mr. Koung. Another thing that was said by the voice heard in that leaked audio tape was again allegedly Mr. Koung boasting that he had had the biggest oil company in Liberia, according to the tape. Allegedly, he was speaking that he had an oil company and it was big. Koung having an oil company, but he also said, allegedly, Koung also said in the audio tape that he had 32 tankers. Tankers are those vehicles used to transport, in this case, oil. There's an oil tanker carrying or transporting and the United Nations mission in Liberia, according to him, rented 32 tankers from him, and the United Nations was paying him 10,000 United States dollars on a monthly basis because they were renting his tankers and using them to transport fuel for their vehicles or for their use from one place to the other. And so Koung said, allegedly in the audio tape, that, he had the biggest oil company. I don't know, maybe I'm sure he was about transportation or transporting, or distribution. I'm not sure he had, a own facility, and maybe what he meant was that he had these tankers and they could be rented by people who are distributors, and they could be used to move, their product from one place to the other. And that is what I think it actually was, given the fact that in the audio tape, he said he had 32 of those tankers being rented by the United Nations mission in Liberia at the time, and he was being paid 10,000 United States dollars a month. So more than likely that is believable. Many people have been able to confirm that he has had tankers. But the one that is, I'm finding it difficult as an individual to believe, for which other, people in and outside of Nimba County have accused him of being a ritualist, somebody involved in ritualistic activities, is the fact that he said his daughter in the years 2007, 2008, and 2009 was just inside a house, and all she did was to run the money, and what he did was to just be picking the money up. That was what was heard, allegedly being said by Senator Koung on the audio tape. So he has not been somebody far from controversy. So that has been there on his character, and I believe it is the same reason he's also been accused by popular talk show host Henry Costa of being involved into selling of human organs. And then maybe some of you might have heard that Henry Pedro Costa came out in a very vile way, and widely accused Senator Koung of being involved into ritualistic activities, that he was in this business of selling human organs, and that how he made his money. But later on, Costa have to write a Facebook page, a post, in which he apologized to Senator Koung, and Senator Koung's office accepted the apology. And so there has been this controversy, and according to the Independent newspaper, an article that they did also said that residents of Nimba County, especially in District Number 1, the district that Senator Koung has represented for 2 legislative terms, they accuse, or they said that the people have observed that his wife and daughter were always sick and they were always inside. So these kind of stories have been lingering around against, around the character and person of Senator Jeremiah Koung. Now, these are things that we as a media institution have not been able to independently verify. But these are things that have been out there against his character and his reputation. And in fact, talking about the allegation on being involved into ritualistic activities, the Independent newspaper said when they reached out to Senator Koung to comment on, the allegation, he had declined to comment. He had no interest in saying anything about, or said allegation. But this allegation about ritualistic activities has been out there for quite a long time. And we can report to you that Senator Koung has not been able to, respond to it sufficiently to clear his name or to dismiss it in a very significant way. So it continues to linger against his person and character. So also about Senator Koung, Jeremiah Koung was elected for the first time as a representative of Nimba County District Number 1 in 2011. So he represented District Number 1 in Nimba County. 2011 was the first time he got elected. And then in 2007, he got re-election. So, and so Senator Koung has been able to, according to Senator Koung, he has been able to build relationships with the people of Nimba County, specifically in District Number 1. So he got elected twice as a representative, for Nimba County in District Number 1. So and Senator Koung, when he got elected as a representative, later on during his time as a lawmaker, as a representative to be specific, he served on the Ways, Means, and Finance Committee as a member of the Ways, Means, and Finance Committee in the House of Representatives. And so he has a significant role to play in the appropriation of our national budget, because he was on a committee that basically provides the supervisory role in allotments and also allotments of our national budget. So he was heavily involved in how, or where money goes, and for what and how much it should be. He had a very, very, very significant role to play, given the fact that he was a member of that consequential committee in the House of Representatives, and he was in the House of Representatives for 2 terms. Senator Koung, we also know that he has so many businesses, including a hospital that has given him, some serious name recognition and respectability in Nimba County. As many of you are aware, healthcare in Liberia is a challenge for many people, because the facilities are not equipped, not having the necessary number of trained professionals, and so members of the community or Liberians being poor and not being able to shoulder the cost of their care and all that. So Koung was able to build what is referred to in the county as a hospital that has some equipment, some doctors and nurses always working. We know that the hospital, as they call it, refer to it as a hospital, is operational. And Mr. Koung is known to be the one who built this hospital. The hospital was built at the time he became a representative, and so as a member of the Ways, Means, and Finance Committee, one other allegation against Mr. Koung is that Mr. Koung, and he's not the only one, but because we are discussing him now, or he has been able to influence the committee or the legislature to be able to allot subsidies to his hospital. So this is a lawmaker who sits on the Ways, Means, and Finance Committee, and he has a private hospital, and that private hospital is being subsidized with taxpayers' money, and that money is being used for the running of the hospital. The thing about subsidy is not wrong. Governments around the world give subsidies to institutions, but this is a lawmaker. He works in government. He has a private entity that is a hospital, and money is coming from the government going to a hospital, and he has a role to play in the allotment of subsidy to institutions in Liberia. And his hospital has always, for the most part, been considered for subsidy. So that is one of Mr. Koung's record. He sits on the Committee of Ways, Means, and Finance in the House of Representatives, and he's influenced the allotment of subsidy to larger institutions, including his hospital. And so that is another thing he has to his name as a businessman owning a hospital in Nimba County, by Liberian standard, that is functional and operational and has been able to do so much good for the people of Nimba. And I believe there are a lot of Liberians that appreciate Senator Koung or Mr. Koung for the hospital he built and that has been providing services for the people of Liberia, specifically in Nimba County. As a businessman, we also know Senator Koung to be a farmer. Again, Senator Koung became a known farmer in Nimba County after he became a lawmaker. He has a cocoa farm to his name, and so he's growing cocoa, and now he's being referred to as a big farmer in Nimba County. And again, he became this farmer after he was elected representative. That is another thing about Senator Koung. So yes, Senator Koung, a lawmaker who is now a senator, served 2 terms as a representative before getting elected as a senator for Nimba County. He has businesses to his name, a cocoa farm, and now he has a hospital. And according to him, he also had oil company, but I think what it actually was or is that he has this, business that has tankers that's been able to move petroleum products from one storage facility probably to a destination of a purchaser. And that is a business that he has been involved with. And also, Senator Koung is being accused of being involved into illegal sale of drugs. And this something focused on Liberia has not been able to independently verify. But there are other insiders who are saying Koung is a rich man. And many people question Mr. Koung riches. They believe that he has ill-gotten wealth, that he has used power and abused power to acquire the money that he has today, as we all know it has been reported. So these are the things that are against Senator Koung's character. And Senator Koung, people know him to be a man of goodwill. In Nimba County, Senator Koung has been able to do a lot that we know about for a fact. He has helped to renovate schools in Nimba County. He has helped to renovate other health centers in Nimba County. He has helped to renovate market places in Nimba County. There's so much he has been able to do owing to the fact that he's known to be a rich man in Nimba County, even though there are questions surrounding how he got his riches, allegations of being involved into drug sale, allegation of being able to divert government funding through subsidy to his businesses. That, as a businessman, as a politician, people accuse him of being able to abuse power. There is a video that is out there at some point at the legislature. He was being mocked and booed, and the people chanted, Koung. They were calling him roll. Those folks accuse him of being one of those who is double dipping into government coffers, for their own benefit. He was being, accused by legislative staffers. They call him roll. So, and we have not been able to independently verify, but profiling him, these are the things that are out there about Senator Koung, and that we thought, if you don't know, you should know about him, and fast forward, Senator Koung now, in 2020, all right, Senator Koung contested for the senatorial by-election in Nimba County. He contested in Nimba County in 2020, December of 2008, that senatorial by-election, Senator Koung, when he was serving his second term as a representative of District Number 2, he contested in 2020 to become senator for Nimba County. And that election was a hard-fought battle. He went against Manaire Gongo Ware. And if you don't know, the Gongo family is a highly respected family and popular family in Nimba County. Senator Koung, from a humble beginning, who will get elected as a representative twice, who became a businessman in Nema County, has so many businesses to his name, as I have explained, will go against the Ile Gongowe in Nema County, a hard-fought electoral battle in 2020, December 8th, to be specific. And Senator Koung came on top, but Ile Gongowe was not satisfied with the results and have filed a complaint with the National Election Commission. She was even calling for recounts of the votes. The National Election Commission looked into the matter and made a decision that Senator Koung was the winner of that December 8, 2020 by-elections in the county. Well, Ile Gongo was not still satisfied, so it went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court looked at all the facts, all the tally sheets, and everything there was to look at, in making a decision, and it came down with a ruling that Senator Koung was the winner of that 2020 December 8 senatorial by-election in Nema County. This is how Senator Koung got elected. So, to his credit, he has won nearly every election that he stepped into. Every race he stepped in, he won. 2011, contested as for the first time as representative for District Number 1 Nema County, he will win. 2007, he went for re-election, he will win. 2020, now that time he decided that he was going for the bigger ball to be a senator for Nema County. And, from the beginning, Spring Johnson didn't want to support him. And I think Spring Johnson, he didn't get Spring Johnson's support that much, but later on, I think Spring Johnson came around, and supported him. And he will go and win Ile Gongowe in 2020, winning election 3 separate times in Nema County. That is to his political credit, in addition to being known as a successful businessman, even though others are questioning, what kind of business dealings he has been involved with, leak audio tape purportedly that came from him, and allegedly it was his voice talking about his daughter has been vomiting money in the years 2007, 2008, and 2009, and he was there to pick it up. I don't know if it's anything for anybody to believe. And so this is Senator Koung. This is his record. This is his history. All right. And when he became senator, he will again succeed in becoming a member of the Committee on Ways, Means, and Finance in the Senate. So I don't know what led to that. Probably he has served as a member of the Ways, Means, and Finance Committee in the House of Representatives. So when he came to the Senate, Senator Koung, maybe given his experience, his colleagues felt that he was well suited, given the fact that he did similar work in the House of Representatives, and he will become a member of the Senate Ways, Means, and Finance Committee, where he serves today. So that is it about Senator Koung. And I told you he has a cocoa farm. And now in 2023, this year, Senator Koung was selected as Vice Tenor Bearer for Joseph Yimambwaka. Again, in 2023, Joseph Yimambwaka selected Senator Jeremiah Koung of Nema County as his vice tenor bearer for the 2023 general and presidential elections. So what a history and record filled of controversy from humble beginning, from nowhere. In fact, when Joseph Yimambwaka selected him, it was in April of this year, and according to Bwaka himself, he said the reason he chose Senator Koung was the fact that they share the same humble beginning and that they want to do so much good for Liberia. So no one can question the fact that Senator Koung came from a very humble beginning, like many of us. Difficult childhood, practically living in the streets, started selling soap, fish, oil and many other things, become an adult, and start doing other BB businesses. Even there's allegations here and that, will go to run for the House in 2011 and got elected. In 2017. He went for re-election and got elected. And in 2020, will go for the Senate and will get elected and defeated, Ile Gongo Ward, a popular name in Nema County. And now fast forward in 2023, because of his history and record, being a businessman and all that, he became the vice presidential running mate to Joseph Yaman Boakai. And so Joseph Yaman Boakai selected him. And let us know for a fact, why did Joseph Yaman Boakai choose him? Why? At first, many people wanted to see a Boakai Cummings ticket. And later on, people were convinced that a Boakai Nyomli ticket were possible. And then lately at the 11th hour, there was the idea of maybe a Boakai Costa ticket. And so of the names people earlier had contemplated, Boakai did not go the way of any of those names. And surprisingly, at the 11th hour, when Prince Johnson just visited Joseph Yaman Boakai, and it is important for us to mention a piece also. At some point, Senator Koung got elected as the political leader, head of the MDR, the movement for democracy and reconstruction. I think that's what it is. All right, the movement for development and reconstruction of former warlord Prince Johnson. That is Prince Johnson Party. So Prince Johnson Party elected Senator Jeremiah Koung as the head of the party, and he became the flag bearer. He became the political leader, they will say in Liberia, of MDR. And in fact, from the very get-go, Senator Koung was aspiring, to contest for the Liberian presidency. That was why Prince Johnson wanted to see. He was trying to pull him forward. In fact, in an interview, he said that at some point he will give an affirmative answer as to whether or not he will be a candidate in the upcoming election, and that the party were having discussion. That was when he was being interviewed as the political leader of the MDR, of Senator Prince Yaman Johnson. And so you can see the history, you can see some successes, of this man. Either way you look at it, he has been a success story from a very poor and humble beginning, from complete nothingness to something. And today, we are not only talking about the boy who was practically in the street. We're not only talking about a boy who sold fish, who sold salt and oil. We are not only talking about a young man who's being accused of selling drugs, from 2003. We are now talking about somebody who got elected as a representative twice. We are talking about somebody who became known as a successful businessman, who have 32 tankers to his name and other businesses, according to him, who has a hospital to his name, and somebody who has been able to do so much good in Nema County. And people have also questioned the sources of his earnings, his business dealings, even after becoming representative committee he served on, and that he's been able to acquire money and being accused of double dipping. But if you look at all their allegations, there are accusations, and all that, but you cannot dismiss this success that he has had from nowhere. He will become a businessman. He will jump into politics. He will get elected 3 times. All right. And people know him to have so much money in his possession as a businessman, as a politician. And so Boakai, looking at him said, I chose this man because he and myself share the same humble beginning. Senator Koung today is a vice presidential running mate, all right, to Joseph Yimam of the now opposition Unity Party. Can you imagine that? Vice presidential running mate. Vice presidential running mate, to the Unity Party. This is huge. This boy, who started from nowhere. And we should know about that. Despite the allegations, despite the controversy surrounding his name, but he has come from completely nothing. This is somebody others would say who has lifted himself by his bootstrap. How he did it can be questioned yet and there, but he has arrived at a significant place in our country. And given that, Joseph Boakai of the Unity Party, has a possibility, of becoming president of Liberia should the Liberian people vote for him. Jeremiah Koung would be vice president. And also given that, Joseph Boakai, is well advanced in age, and we will continue to say that is a reality. That is, biological. This is human biology. At some point, you get old, you get ill, and you are no more. I'm not in any shape and form bewishing, the former vice president, the elder statement of any, misfortune here, but that is the reality of life. So the point is, Jeremiah Koung can well become president. And if you look at where the man is coming from, representative 2 times, senator, ways and means, and now this is the guy who is a vice presidential, a candidate to be in the upcoming election, running with Joseph Yimam Boakai, someone who is known in Liberia, who has an impressive name recognition. And you look at all the unscientific polls that have been conducted in Liberia, Joseph Boakai has done excellently well in all those unscientific polls. So if those polls, telling us anything believable, and if things should materialize, because the election is a different ball game, you have to have money to compete. We don't know what's going to happen, but you cannot in any shape and form entirely dismiss Joseph Boakai's chances in the upcoming election. So holding all things constant, should things go Boakai way, should the Liberian people express any remorse for not choosing Boakai or choosing we are over him and feeling disappointed that we are just not doing well, and in the event where they decide to vote for Joseph Yimam Boakai, they will be making Jeremiah Koung a vice president of the Republic of Liberia. And in the event anything happens, Jeremiah Koung will eventually become president of Liberia. And one should not dismiss the threat from nowhere will become representative twice and then a senator, and now is a presidential running mate to a major political party. And a serious, I don't know, I should use the word serious. I will use that serious to be, to be very respectful and very fair. Yeah, a serious candidate. I mean, Joseph Boakai should be a serious candidate. I'm not sure he is, but let's pull it that way. He should be a serious candidate. And if anything happens, he will become president of Liberia. He has been on the rise. Despite all the odds, the controversy, the accusations, and all that, Koung is standing. And he is climbing a ladder, and he at the point where he can easily make the last step to get to the very top. Because when he becomes vice president, when they are elected, he will be very close to power. So that is Senator Jeremiah Koung. So today, Senator Koung is believed by many to be another rich politician, and those who believe him to be a rich politician think that he is this rich politician because he's been able to abuse power. That is debatable. Another thing we want to point out about Senator Koung is that during the ceremony in April, when he was selected and announced by Joseph Boakai as his vice presidential running mate, something unusual that I noticed that I thought I should share. Senator Koung, when he was given the opportunity to speak, as always, when people are ready to speak, politicians, that matter, they will have to introduce their family. But Senator Koung, he did an introduction that was unusual for me. He said, well, yeah, I have my family. Yeah, my children. Yes, my wife. He did not mention his children by their names. He did not call his wife name. And he only said, I can see I have plenty of children. I don't know, it's a Liberian thing. I don't know, it is about, not being well versed in the arena of a politician coming before the people and introducing the family. What I know, what I've seen is that when a politician is given the opportunity to speak, they will first introduce their family and they will go back calling the family members by their names. That is very important. That's what I see here in the United States where I live, right? The politician will call every family member by name and, and recognize them. But he just said, I can see I have plenty of children. Will not mention any of his children, by name. He did not even mention his wife by name. He just said, this is my wife. That wife, he needed to introduce his wife and mention her by her name. So, except you ask somebody who knows his wife personally, I can't tell you his name. I can't tell you his wife's name. All right. So that was something I think that he could have handled better. Now, another thing we should talk about here is Senator Koung is now on, it will be on the ballot, so to speak, and he will be running as VP or vice president for Liberia. And when they should get elected, or if they get elected, I should put it right, Senator Koung will have to be a diplomat. When you are a president, you are the chief diplomat of the country. And so by default, as vice president, the fact that you assist the president, you become the second diplomat of the country. And should anything happen to the president, you assume the presidency and you should be a diplomat. Diplomacy calls for exposure and an understanding, of world issues, being able to relate to other world leaders, having exposure to the outside world. So, like Senator Koung, does he have any exposure? Has he been able to travel? Does he have experience of meeting other people in other countries? Does he have that to his name? Well, the little we know is Senator Koung, I believe in 2008, while he was representative, came with President Weah at the United Nations General Assembly, the UNGA. He came with President Weah at that time, and he was member of that delegation. So he visited the United States. He was at the United Nations headquarters. He attended the United Nations General Assembly. One would think he would shake hands. One would think he saw world leaders gathering and discussing world issues. And one would think that he has seen how people conduct themselves on the global stage, how to communicate as a world leader on the global level. One would think he has had the opportunity to see that, and one can only imagine, he should be able to do that. And the fact that he is a senator, these senators usually being reached out to by investors in the country, and the investors mostly are foreign nationals who are in your country, meeting these senators, trying to talk to them to secure, concession agreement. And he has been able to, one would think that he has been able to meet these people. And I also know that Senator Koung was able to visit the country of Romania, where I think on the ECOWAS thing with Edwin Snow, and they traveled to that country, and there was a conference that he attended. So he's been able to visit countries, in a few countries, Ali, I know Romania and the United States, outside of Liberia, where he interacted with other nationals on a whole different level. You may want to put it like international level or so. So that is it that I know about Senator Koung. Senator Koung, yes, he's a Liberian. He speaks global. He speaks Bassa, and he speaks Gil. He's 45 years old, born 1978. Got elected 3 times in his life as a politician, represented twice, and senator once in 2020. To be specific, the December 8, 2020 by-election, he defeated Ide Gongwe. And now he serves on the Senate Ways, Means, and Finance Committee after serving as Ways and Means and Finance Committee member in the House of Representatives in April of this year. Was selected by Jose Yimambwaka as his vice presidential running mate for the 2023 general and presidential election. He's known to be a businessman. He's a family man who is married. He has so many businesses. He has children. He's been able to do good for the people of Nimba, renovated schools, renovated market centers. So this is Jeremiah Koung. Is he a patriot? Does he have the experience when and if elected to be or make a good vice president for Liberia? Well, will he be a patriot? Will he be able to sit in the room to fight for the interests of Liberia, to represent the image of this country, giving his record, giving his history, and not dismissing the allegation, but at the same time, not being able to verify all the things against him? Is he somebody that can be a better representation? Can we look at his story as an individual? Is it inspiring? Does it tell us that anyone can come from anywhere and become something in Liberia? I would think so. Anyone can come from somewhere in Liberia and become something. Jovia's story is another thing. The story of Jeremiah Koung is another thing, and the story of many other Liberians. But in this case, Jeremiah Koung's story tells us that you can come from nowhere and to go somewhere, and that is possible. But whether or not his record, his history, these things about him will make him to serve as a vice president if elected. That is another thing to see, and that will be an entirely different thing. And whether he will be up to the task of making decisions that will improve the material and human condition of Liberians is another thing. If you look at Senator Koung, it is important for us to bring in his voting record, because when you serve as a representative, you are there to advocate, for the people of Liberia. Jeremiah Koung, we know, voted for the stimulus package that was completed, corrupted. About 30 million United States dollars was set aside. They said they're going to give our people rice, oil, and all kinds of things. People were being flooded for not staying indoor. The government said it was bringing so much food for them, so they needed to stay. Jeremiah Koung voted for that. Jeremiah Koung also voted for the accessibility fees. Lawmaker every being paid sufficient money. He voted for them to be given additional money for accessibility fees. He voted for that. And all of the budgets, Jeremiah Koung has been able to vote for these budgets. And for the most part, these budgets that he has voted for have allotted so much money for the legislature and less money for the area of education, the area of healthcare, in so many sectors that desperately need more money. Senator Koung has been one of the lawmakers who have been voting on budgets that allow more for the government operation, that allows more money for senators and representatives, and allowed little or nothing for the people of Liberia. For example, every budget year, as far as I know, I've been following the budget very conspicuously. They always give a county $200,000 as the county's budget. And Senator Koung has been voting that each county get just 200,000. But the very Senator Koung has been voting for each lawmaker to give, if not $500,000, up to close to $1 million. Senator Koung has been voting for Beaufort Chamber to get about $1 million, for Abbott to be getting about $2 million, for the Vice President of Liberia to be getting about $2 million, for the office of the president to be getting pretty close to $4 million above. And in fact, the last time we checked the budget, I think it was the budget of 2021, President Weah budget, the office of the Ministry of Presidential Affairs, budgets were far more than the budget of the judiciary branch of government. You're talking about a whole judiciary branch of government. Just a Ministry of Presidential Affairs, budgets was twice what Jeremiah Koung voted for the judiciary branch of government. So his voting record has been one that is replete with a lot more for government officials, little or less for the people of Liberia. And I think it's important that we know that. And he has been part of the budget committee that has been allotting subsidies going to businesses and institutions owned by lawmakers and other officials of government. Senator Koung has been voting for those budgets, and we also wanted you to note about that. On that note, folks, this is how we will come to the end of yet another edition of the Hour of Politics, and we brought you the topic: Profiling Unity Party Vice Tenant Bearer, Senator Jeremiah Kpan Koung of Nimba County. And so, folks, that is it. Yesterday, we were able to profile the CPP presidential running mate, Councillor Charlene Bronskin, and today we thought to do Senator Jeremiah Koung, who is the vice presidential running mate for Joseph Yimam Bwaka of the Unity Party. We will continue. We will find time to do another one for Joel Howard Taylor, who is on the Propo ticket, the Josh Weird Taylor ticket. So we will have to profile her, and then we will continue as time permits. And based on our research, we'll be able to share those things with you. We hope we were able to be of help to you in profiling the vice presidential running mate of the Unity Party, Senator Jeremiah Koung, political leader of the NDR, two-time representative, one-time senator, who is now on a major party ticket, or will be on a major party ticket in the upcoming elections. My name is Anthony Sie. We want to say thank you for watching. We will now close with our song that says, "We are all Liberians." And until we catch you again when we do, enjoy the song for just 1 minute. And please never, ever, ever hesitate to share the broadcast. Thank you. Have a good day, and bye-bye.
We are Liberians. Liberia is our home.